Hi, I'm Nicole. I am an accountant turned developer and I use technology to solve my own business problems. And my latest problem I've been solving is estimating corporation tax for my clients. And my clients need to understand what their corporation tax bill is pretty much every month. They need to know how much money to set aside, what their profits actually look like. And it's taking me about 25 minutes per client to be able to do this and estimate the tax. And I don't have that kind of time, it's just not scalable, but it's really valuable for my clients. So I knew there was a better way. So what I'm currently doing is going into Xero, running the reports I need to run, coming at this jazzy spreadsheet, popping in all the figures, forecasting forward for what the profit's looking like for the year, and then calculating the marginal rate of tax. Now, it used to be easy, you could just take 19% of whatever's left. It's not that easy anymore, but it's really important. Then I would post a journal in Xero, and then I would let the client know. It's just not scalable. But all the data is there, it's all systematic, it's all just going through a process. So I figured I could build it. So that kind of led me on to creating workflows in N8N. This has changed now, this is the live version, but I started with a process of, well, what am I doing in my head, what am I actually doing in Xero, and building that out in a workflow. N8N is a bit like Zapier, but on a way steeper learning curve. And if you're not used to like formatting data and how data flows, going to be a challenge. But they do have great AI or AI agent pieces already in here that I've been playing about with, which are really good. So this basically recreates the process of what I was doing before. So I put this problem to a hackathon I was at with TaxScaler a couple of weeks ago, and we came up with this as the landing page. And Tax Haggis was thrown about as a name. Now this is generated with Lovable, worth playing about with if you're trying to imagine or get an image of what your product might look like. But really what we were doing was really honing in on what is the problem that we're trying to solve and why we needed a fix. So this was where Tax Haggis was born. Adam kindly made me a wee manny. And that weekend I decided I was actually going to make this thing a real working product. So Haggis.Tax was born. So I bought that domain, whipped up this landing page. This probably took me a wee bit longer than I thought, but I wanted to make sure it was really good, really clean, modern, got straight to the point, was obsessive over the problem, and that there was plenty of little Easter eggs for my fellow Scots. If you click on the wee Scottish flag, you'll get a wee message. I then built a beta sign-up form using Tally, which is really great. First time I've used Tally, thumbs up from me. And then I finished actually building the actual app. Now, the app is not finished by any means, but it is getting there. I'm just going to take this off just for a wee second while I sign in. The biggest problem I had was I could get the data processing and I could call Xero's webhook or call their API through a webhook, but it wasn't the actual integration API. That bit took me a good few hours to actually get integrated in the app, but now it does actually connect with Xero. There are some teething issues that I'm working through, but that part's quite new for me, and working with SDKs, I think they're called, is also new for me. It's all a learning process and I love it. So back to the app. This is what it looks like just now. It's rough and ready. I'm just trying to make sure that I am actually solving a problem. So the idea would be that you would be able to select all your clients, select the tax month that you're looking to run, click calculate tax. It would then go and get all your P&Ls, calculate your marginal tax rate, find any disallowable items, calculate the tax, and return it here. And you get a wee green button here for the calculator to let you know it's been calculated and show you what that calculation is. Then at the moment what you could do is post it to Xero, so it would go ahead and post a journal with that adjustment straight into Xero. And then finally you can notify your clients by email. At the moment I'm working on the Outlook integration, but I will be working on the Gmail integration too. I would show you it working right now, but the API or I've done something to the API Xero thing, so I will sort that later. But it's rough and ready, but it does work in a local environment. No, it does work. At the moment I've split out all these stages because I wanted to check each stage individually was working. But basically the plan would be to have a button of some sort or some sort of trigger to allow people to either automatically do this or do all 3 stages all in one go. When I was testing it, it was taking 5 seconds to run for my portfolio, compared to 25 minutes per client. So it's a huge time saving for me. Or if you have like around 50 clients, it's around 21 hours a month. And your clients actually get the data, which is fantastic. So I want to kind of just chat through how I built it, what it's currently, how I did it. So I built the end-to-end workflow. I connected to Xero's developer platform, created an app within there and got all of that good stuff set up. I used Supabase for auth and for database stuff. And I used GitHub, as I assume everybody does, for my repo, and I used Vercel for hosting. All of these are free up until a point, and I'm not currently paying anything for any of these tools, which is fantastic. The only one I am paying for is N8N, but I use that for loads of stuff within my business anyway. For the actual build, I use Cursor, and can't get past Cursor. I love it. I haven't even tried anything else because what's the point? And here's all my code. Here's like the environment variables for the other bits that I'm connected with. So it's just Supabase, Xero, and then N8N at the moment. So it's built with Next.js and Tailwind. You can whip up a dummy app quite quickly using Next.js and Supabase. It's all kind of integrated, and Vercel actually as well, which is great. There's lots of things you can get caught up in, so I've built myself like a boilerplate for a future app as well. So that's kind of trying to solve some problems. I'm not going to go into all the code because, well, you don't need to know all of it. But the tips that I would give, or the things that have really helped me this time, is creating these cursor rules. So one of the rules I created was about Supabase. Supabase had a different auth route, I guess, before, and Cursor still thinks the old method is the correct method, so I kept getting caught in these errors. So I created this rule just to say, like, always use this as opposed to this, and that has really helped with the accuracy of Cursor. The other thing I created was a problem statement. Again, hash this out with AI quite a bit to get really, really clear on what the problem is and why we were trying to solve it and what the solution was. And this really helped with actually creating the landing page, which is somewhere here. So this is the code behind the actual landing page that you seen earlier. Don't know what's happened to my scroll bar. So when I was generating this, having that problem statement was really helpful because Cursor then knew exactly what the problem was and what copy to use for the landing page. It's rough and ready. I am very much obsessed with the problem and making sure that what I build actually solves a problem, and ultimately it's a tool to help me, but if it can help others, then great. So next steps for me are getting some beta testers on once I've sorted a couple more bits with the Xero API, finding out what they think should be different, kind of monitoring what their user experience is. Do they use it the way I think they're going to use it? Does it work the way they want it to work? And go from there. The only other things that I'm definitely going to need to put in are a couple of bits around disconnecting from Xero and connecting again, and users. So most accountant practices will have a practice account and then have staff access below that. So I'll need to set something like that up in the future, and maybe some reporting. But we're going for MVP. And yeah, I've really enjoyed this process. It's been fun building something to solve my own problem. The other thing I built earlier in the year was Whiskey Wander, which is a whiskey app, which was my first experience of doing anything front end properly. And I really enjoyed that, so I think that was a great learning curve for this, and that was the first time doing full stack. So nice to do full stack again here. And yeah, just kind of sharpen my chisels and hopefully build something with impact and it solves a problem. More to come, small slice in a big picture, but I'm loving it. Any questions? Drop me a comment. like and subscribe. I don't know, not down the lingo. But yeah, hope you like this video. Cheers! And what I should have said is if you want to be a beta tester of Haggis.Tax and you're in a UK accounting practice, jump over at Haggis.Tax, sign up to the beta, and I will be in touch in the coming weeks once I've sorted some more bugs.